Days about your second stimulus check, your third stimulus check, your fourth stimulus check, your fifth stimulus check, and your sixth stimulus check, as the Senate has now turned blue. And Biden will be coming in on January 20th. So what's going to happen with the Cash Act before then, the $2,000 stimulus check fix-it bill? The Cash Act is really is an act unto itself. And now that we see what's happening, the question is when? When will you get the $2,000? How soon will you get it? And how are the events of today going to impact, or are they going to impact, your receipt of the $2,000 stimulus check? In this video, I'm going to go over why the events of today may or may not impact your $2,000 stimulus check's arrival time. And then I'll be going over your $600 stimulus check, your $2,000 stimulus check, and what's happening under Biden's stimulus. So much happening across the board. I'll have an update at the 15-minute mark and the 30-minute mark. There's a lot I have to go over in this video, so hopefully I get it all covered. Ultimately, wow, what a day it is. Please subscribe at the front of this channel and also like this video. And meantime, hit the alert so you don't miss an alert when I next go live, as the heat really heats up again in here tonight. Boy, let me tell you where we sit here tonight. The breaking development is the following. There's a series of major reports out tonight that say Republicans, Trump cabinet members, Democrats, and leading Republican heads are calling for the 25th Amendment to remove the President of the United States from office and make Mike Pence the president for the next 2 weeks, the remaining 2 weeks before Joe Biden comes in. There's additionally calls for impeachment of the president and to get those impeachment hearings done very quickly so that the president can never serve in office again. The reason why they want to have those two proceedings is to ensure that President Trump never serves again. That's the reasoning behind it. The question is, does that impact your $2,000 stimulus check? I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about stimulus. And will that impact your stimulus? Yes. The $2,000 stimulus check doesn't require a lot of work to get it done. Nancy writes up the bill. Well, she already has the Cash Act 2020. She modifies it as it needs to be modified. That's about a half hour's work. She puts it to the House floor. The House is already sworn in, so they already have everyone in place for the House. Puts it to the floor, gets it approved, then sends it to the Senate after Warnock and Ossoff are sworn in, which is about Friday or Saturday or Sunday or Monday. And then, well, someone signs it. Who signs it? President Pence could sign it. But the question is work time schedules. Would doing a 25th Amendment hearing, doing an impeachment trial on a rushed basis in no less than, what is today, the 6th, between the 6th and the 20th, they have to do it in 14 days. To do it in 14 days, that would consume an enormous work schedule of congressional leaders and ultimately may overtake their work schedule for the $2,000 stimulus check. Possible. It's very, very possible. So we will see in the next 48 hours if the calls for a 25th Amendment really do formulate and an impeachment trial and hearing. Because if they do in 2 weeks, they will, as Terry just said, block, but I'm not going to use the word that starts with C that rhymes with it, block the time schedule for doing a $2,000 stimulus check. Now, they can always do a lot of things at the same time, but I'm worried that that ultimately may block it. It may also distort their focus on whether they want to send anything to President Trump by bill. People who want to impeach someone or do the 25th Amendment on them don't want to send things to someone. Let me read you what U.S. law says. Rebellion or sedition is anyone who incites or assists or encourages acts of violence against the United States government, and they shall be incapable of ever holding office again in the United States. So those are type of words that people are looking at and deciding whether they want to ensure that Trump does not ever hold office in the United States again. And their focus may be to get that done in 14 days more than a $2,000 stimulus check. I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about the impact on your stimulus check. So, can they do those two things at the same time? Hard to say yet. I really can't predict it. But ultimately, they have the ability to pass the bill in the House within just half an hour. Just like a long time there, Nancy. Just, she's always ready to have that ice cream and get on that plane and get out of town. Certainly, this is not a good week to stay in town. And it lands in shock with now the blue Senate. The Senate is blue as of the later part of this week, so they can get Cash Act done very, very, very quickly. The question is whether that will sit back on the back burner behind any 25th or impeachment hearings. Really hard to say. Now, understand that a 25th Amendment or an impeachment hearings are different mechanisms. And even though you saw an impeachment hearing before in the last few years, it's different now that the Senate is blue. They can do it much more faster. So it's just a lot of stuff. All right, now let me cut back to will you get to the $2,000? Yes, you're absolutely going to get it. I'm trying to determine whether you're going to get it before January 20th. All right, that's the first thing. And again, that's the remainder of the $2,000. So if you're an adult dependent, you get the full $2,000. If you're a single individual, you get $1,400. Married couple, you get the double amount. Children, you get $1,400 as well because you're getting $600. So let's cut to the $600 of the first stimulus check. Throughout the day, I've been going over with viewers sort of this code word we use. I say, if what you got first time, what you got this time. Electronic, nothing. Electronic. Paper, nothing. And so far, we're seeing the following. It's a great way. It's like we're talking our own special language here. So far, we've had a trend so far that we see that people who got the first paper check have gotten nearly nothing. 99% of the viewers who got paper before have not gotten paper now. No less than 10%. So if you're a paper person, don't worry. It's just not landing yet. It's just not landing. Electronic, we're seeing about a 50-50. Electronic, or electronic nothing. So we're showing about 50%. I had some viewers that got electronic the same day that Mnuchin sent that tweet out. I have viewers right now that are saying electronic nothing. I like what someone just said. It was a great one. Electronic H&R Block. Yeah, so I'm looking at about 80 to 100% of viewers are seeing H&R Block now pay electronic H&R Block. So great job with H&R Block. They fixed their situation. TurboTax, not so much. So electronic, no TurboTax. That's very, very high at the moment. Then the something else I was gonna say, I forgot. So then the missing child, there's no way to fix it. The missing child, there's just no way to fix it right now. So if you got checks for 2 kids but not for the last kid, it's just not happening. There's a fake Mitch McConnell in the room, so I'll just obviously ignore that silliness. Is like, Mitch, you lost, so it's like, why are you here? Go have some lobster. The next thing is, but thank you for the effort. I appreciate it. Electronic. I mean, every time I see electronic, I'm like, is it trance or is it house music? I don't know when I started with this electronic. It's just like, why is he talking about electronic music so much on this channel? LA, can you explain more about FPUC? So yeah, let me go to FPUC now. So FPUC goes on top of your PUA and UI, and your FPUC is $300 under the second stimulus package. It's now forward, not retroactive. So far, we have about 10 states that have paid some viewers $300 a week. Some viewers. But in those same states, we have viewers who've got nothing. So don't worry. When I say those states to you, it's a positive thing because you know your state is not holding up people's money. Washington and New Mexico, they're holding up your money. So Washington and New Mexico, they're like, we ain't gonna pay anyone for a few weeks. So, go have some ice cream. That's just not really cool. Washington, we need our money. Why do you have to wait 2 weeks? And then other states are simply not telling viewers. So that's just not a good situation. Viewers who have gotten rent, $600 stimulus checks in some states are Arizona, Rhode Island, California, New York, Massachusetts, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, Ohio, Minnesota. So that is some viewers, not all the viewers, just some of the viewers. So it's encouraging news. In the same states, people are still on lockdown. So the turtle's toast. He is toast. What's up in Louisiana? I don't know. And then so there we are at the moment. Let me explain FPUC 3.0 because viewers are going to start watching. Well, no, I won't do that now. I'll do that on third stimulus. I'll do it at about the 18-minute mark. I'll go over third stimulus later in this video because I don't want to confuse the two stimulus packages. So we're still on second stimulus. Stimulus check, SNAP benefits. SNAP, you'll either get the 15% increase on your January SNAP or your February. They're going to give you 6 months. So either going to go January to June or February to July. If you have a child at school and they're staying home, normally a child at school, but they're staying home, call up Contact SNAP to get that pandemic EBIT, raising them $114 approximately per month per child. If you're not on SNAP and want to get on SNAP, contact Department of Agriculture or call 211. The next ones. So what's going to happen for second stimulus? This is the Mar-a-Lago stimulus, the Mar-a-Lago stimulus, the one that was signed at Mar-a-Lago 2 weeks ago. What are the next instruments? You got that pad in that room on that table. I told you get that pad out. You got a pen. You're making notes. You're saying second stimulus. These are the items for second stimulus. I need to write down and say, okay, yeah, I want to watch that, and I'm going to be a Purple Hawk. I'm going to go get that money. What are the items you need to watch for as a Purple Hawk? 1, PPP. 2, EIDL. 3, free rent. 4, free utilities. 5, free internet. That's 5, 6. What am I doing? Kind of like a Larry Kudlow. So you need to get ready for all those. PPP, please explain, Lisa. Yes, let me do that right now. Great question. And Jeffrey, I haven't got to my 15% SNAP. So you would get it in February. Let me explain PPP. PPP is Paycheck Protection Program. It is, where do you get PPP? That was always one of the major, well, first let me explain what it is and I'll explain where you get it. PPP starts off as a loan. It's written as a loan. But after they give you the money, if you spend the money the way you're supposed to spend the money, then you submit the receipts that you paid the money that way, and then they forgive it and say you can keep it as a grant. Starts as a loan, you follow their instructions, you submit the receipts, and then they say it turns into a grant, meaning it's free money. Who underwrites PPP? SBA. Where do you apply for PPP? With private lenders, credit unions, banks, or thin banks, which are online financial banks. Who can apply for PPP? Anywhere from Grubhub, Airbnb, anything as a Schedule C, Airbnb, Grubhub, Uber, Lyft, plumber, electrician, also small business owners, LLCs, and corporations impacted by the pandemic. When can you apply? The PPP program is not open yet, but the thin banks are taking pre-applications. So you want to figure out which thin banks you want to apply with and reach out to them and start to get ready. Things they're going to ask for are your 2019 tax return. They're going to ask for a copy of your bank account, and then going to copy a copy of any sort of 1099 or schedule or W-2s, if depending on what type of application you're doing. How do you get the free internet? Great question, Frankie. I'll go over that in a second. Spoiler, I don't know yet. The next one. I got an EIDL loan. When those things pop across the screen, I don't know where they're coming from. It's just, I don't know. Some technology is overwhelming for me sometimes. The next one is EIDL. EIDL, you will apply for yourself with your own physical fingers on sba.gov when it goes live. It's a grant, but only certain people can apply for it. One, farmers or ranchers, and Lily is farmers and ranchers, or two, people whose businesses are in low income communities. The second one, we have never seen this one before at SBA. So when it goes live, we're going to see something new that I have never seen before. No one knows more about EIDL than me. I've made probably close to 700 videos on EIDL. Probably, God, how many hours is that? 600 hours of EIDL videos. So I know all the nuances of what is correct, incorrect, ups and downs. And we've just never seen that. So the eligibility for the EIDL grant, uh, we don't know how it's going to be phrased for the inner city, but the application is going to look the same way as it did before. That is what is really exciting. EIDL and PPP won't be around forever. The last times EIDL and PPP went live, they were gone very quickly. EIDL went away in 3 days. I kid not. It went away in 3 days last time. And PPP went away in about 2 weeks one time. So these are quick instruments. Don't be a donut guy. Someone just said, absolutely. Don't be a donut guy. The analogy I use on this channel is donut guy and purple hawks. What does that mean? A donut guy is a person who wants everything to just land into his bank account without doing anything. He wants only automatic money that you don't do anything. You don't pick up a pen, you don't pick up a piece of paper, you don't make a phone call. Everything is automatic. Purple hawk is a person who understands the big money doesn't come that way. The big money you have to apply for. You have to fill out an application. It's not a lot of work. You just got to do it. And the difference is under second stimulus and third stimulus, which I'm getting to a second, donut guy gets crumbs. Donut guy gets crumbs, whereas purple hawk gets the entire donut shop. So that's the difference. And so I'm trying to really focus people on that. The next items under second stimulus that are coming up after that is for rent, utilities, and for internet. We don't know anything about the internet. I presume it's going to be a federal agency that you apply for based upon indication you are a low income household, $49,000 or less 2019 earnings. If that's you, you want to make a note on your list. Free internet. I qualify. Make a little star if you really like it. Say free internet. Put on your second stimulus, on the second stimulus section of your page, put free internet star if that's for you. You're going to have another section in a second, later on that paper, it says third stimulus because we're getting to that in a second. The rent and the utilities is going to be in your city or county, just like purple. I know I have not made a purple recording in 3 days because there's been so much, craziness like today going on. But if you need help getting rent or free rent or free utilities, and I have not covered it, please reach out to the volunteers. They're at news.lalate.com/community. If you open up the pinned comment to this video at the very bottom line, it has that link, news.lalate.com/community. They can help you get free rent and free utilities, even though I haven't been covering the video in the last 3 days. I saw the comment about the $2,400 for disabled vets. I'm getting to that in a second, about 5 minutes from now. And I also see the question about the hazard pay that's coming in third stimulus as well. So make that list. Perfection. Please go over the pad list again. Yes. So on second stimulus, let me go over the pad list. The pad list, the list on your pad for second stimulus is the $2,000 Cash Act check, which is automatic. and everything else is not automatic. That is, sorry. Well, FPUC is not automatic because you got to certify for benefits. Um, Free rent, you got to apply. Free utilities, you got to apply. Free internet, you got to apply. EIDL, you have to apply. And PPP, you have to apply. And all of those have a big range of amounts. The smallest of them could be a few $100s, and the biggest ones of them could be several hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that is what second stimulus is. Now let's turn to third stimulus. Third stimulus is Biden's stimulus. How do you get hazard pay? Jason Price. Yeah. So now go lower on the sheet of paper, and you're gonna write third stimulus. This is Biden's stimulus. This is late January. This is around January 21st. So what are the items in third stimulus? $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, railroad benefits, and veterans. So my viewer who said I'm a disabled veteran, that's third stimulus, Biden stimulus. Make a little note for yourself. Third stimulus, $2,400. Next, multiple stimulus checks. Make a note of that. Those two things, multiple stimulus checks and the SSI, are automatic. You can be a donut guy on those. Those are automatic. You don't have to raise a finger to get those. Everything else, not automatic. Hazard pay, you have to apply, or your employer has to apply. Hopefully they fix that. The viewer says, I'm a truck driver. You are covered for hazard pay. EIDL grant for everyone. The remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant. The $10,000 EIDL grant you never got. The full EIDL grant that you applied for, but they ran out of money. The escalated EIDL loan, which you never got. All that and more. That's third stimulus. So you want EIDL? Or if you never applied for an EIDL, you can get it as well. Grubhub, Airbnb, anything Schedule C or anything with a tax return, EIDL, EIDL, make a list. PPP, put it down there. There's going to be another PPP. FPUC retro. This requires you to do something. It requires you to watch your state's unemployment website, because FPUC retro will be Biden FPUC back to July 25th and forward 20 weeks at $600 a week. That's what he's representing. That's $12,000. Then FPUC forward under Biden will also be $600. You have to keep on certifying for benefits. The next thing after that is, let's see, hazard pay, FPUC, EIDL. I think I got most of them. Then we have the CDC grant. You have to apply for that, essential workers. The Lifeline grant, that we're not quite sure how inclusive or broad it's going to be, but you'll have to apply for that. And there you go. A lot of stuff. And then there's free, oh God, there's more. Then there's there's rent under third stimulus, which is going to be massive rent. There's going to be an eviction moratorium, which presumably will be automatic, but we haven't seen it. We're going to see mortgage forbearance for King Reese, who just asked that, mortgage forbearance. That presumably will be automatic, but we haven't seen it. And then student loan debt forgiveness. That, we don't know if it's going to be automatic or if you're going to have to apply for it. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So you see how long that third stimulus package list is? I mean, that took me at least 3 minutes to say that. And that's what we know now. There will probably be more things than that. I see a lot of donuts on the screen. Don't be donut guy. Don't be the donut guy. You're gonna miss all that. Can you imagine? It was like the list was like this. And how much is donut guy gonna get? A stimulus check? Like, why do you want, why do you just want a $2,000 stimulus check when everyone else is getting $100,000? It's like, you crazy? I just want a stimulus check. Okay, well, everyone else is getting $100,000. What are you doing? So, I need sprinkles. Yeah, I mean, it's just, don't be donut guy unless you're really, I don't know. Maybe donut guy just has a lot of donuts. That's all he wants, just wants to eat donuts. I still owe almost $3,000 on my student loan. So you would absolutely love this, Smith. Student loan forgiveness is just going to be delicious. Has Biden mentioned anything for adult dependents? He has not mentioned anything about adult dependents. That's a great question. A lot of this third stimulus check predictions, which I'm sort of going over, is coming from several sources. What Biden has said, what Biden had in his transition papers, what Biden had in his campaign papers, or Pelosi had in the HEROES Act. Thank you, Robert, for the super chat. I usually identify where things are coming from. I say that the CDC grant and the Lifeline grant were in Pelosi's HEROES Act, but aren't mentioned by Biden. I mentioned that his transition papers talk about the SSI and SSDI. Pelosi never talked about the SSI and SSDI. I think viewers are sort of know that. The SSI and SSDI is Biden. We never heard about that from Pelosi. Both of them talked about hazard pay. I certainly mentioned that Pelosi dropped hazard pay for the last part of last year. She dropped it for almost 6 months. Biden is pushing hazard pay in his transition papers. So the important thing is Biden. Now, what I'm reporting across the board, and this is what's really important, is that Biden's camp has a lot more people involved that were not involved in anything of 2020. And so what's happening with Biden is he's going to have, thank you, Katrina, is Biden's going to have economic advisors say, you need to put this in, you need to put that in. So when we see Biden's third stimulus package, it's going to have a lot of stuff in there that no one thought was ever going to be in there. And so there we go. What a day it is. Let me answer some of your questions now that we're at the 26 mark. How would they implement the free broadband? Like a voucher? I presume that you would have to apply with an agency like maybe the FCC, and then enter your name and your address, and then you would get approved, and then you would get contacted by their independent contractors, which maybe your local broadband company gets paid by the federal government or reimbursed by the federal government. They have it locally in some cities, like in Los Angeles. One of the broadband companies here, they have free internet for certain families that apply through certain organizations. So I've seen this before. It's not unusual. So I assume it would come from the federal government. Will hazard pay gig workers? Um, I don't know what the word gig workers means. This can't say. For example, Uber and Lyft is a gig, and Uber and Lyft is hazard pay coverage. There is hazard pay for Uber and Lyft. But if gig means you just do it once in a while, uh, then no. But if you're referring to, because I hate these expressions like gig worker and side hustle, these are just tacky words that come from other channels. That there's no terminology for these things. I don't really even know where these words came from. Gig, side hustle. You have a side hustle. Let's go get your money out of side. I don't know. No one talks like that. Okay, don't know. DoorDash. Yes, absolutely. DoorDash is essential worker. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that. DoorDash is essential worker. DoorDash, you can get Door when I for essential work for independent contractors, sole practitioners, Schedule Cs. I just call you the same group of people. You can get a ton of things. You can get EIDL. You can get hazard pay. You can get PPP. You get so many darn things. How would they work it? They For hazard pay, I don't know. I mean, hazard pay, the way Pelosi wrote it, is the boss applies for you. I just hope they don't keep it that way. It's just a horrible provision. But PPP what'd you say? Postmates? What did he say? I can't remember what it was. It was Grubhub or something. For PPP, you apply through the lender, and then for EIDL, you physically apply on their SBA website. Are they taking applications for the EIDL? They will, for second stimulus, yes, next week, presumably, for those two types, the low income communities and the agricultural, and then for everyone, then under third stimulus, under Biden's stimulus. $2,000 a month. Are we getting $2,000 a month? It's really hard to tell. You're going to get several $2,000 checks. Are you going to get six $2,000 checks? Are you going to get eight $2,000 checks? Are you going to get four $2,000 checks? I don't know. But you're clearly going to get more than $2,000. You're clearly going to get several checks. How many months of checks? Hard to say. Biden won't give us clarity on that. What is the Lifeline grant? The Lifeline grant is a grant that says if you can get your cost of goods sold 2019 tax return as a grant. Some people have huge cost of goods sold. Line 2, David Ortiz just went, yeah, his emojis are, yeah, if you have big cost of goods sold, you're going to love Lifeline grant. If you have zero cost of goods sold, you're not going to like it because you get zero. When will the Lifeline grant Lifeline grant was in Pelosi's HEROES Act. Biden has not mentioned Lifeline grant. What about hazard pay for food workers? Yes, absolutely. Hazard pay for grocery workers? Absolutely. $10,000 for 6 months? $10,000 every month for 6 months? No, never. You're not going to get $10,000 stimulus check every month for 6 months. No, that's not happening. 5 stimulus checks, says Vasquez. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say if you're going to get, 4 checks, 3 checks, 2 checks, 6 checks. Hard to really say. It's really, really hard to say. I think that Biden really needs to come out with multiple checks. So I think multiple checks looks like 3. But it's also dependent on how long this pandemic goes on. So I've always said the pandemic will end around June, but the vaccines are not being dispersed. They're not being sent out. So we could be in this pandemic to October. If we're in this pandemic in October, you're going to see a lot more checks. Uber and Lyft hazard pay, yes. Graphic designers qualify for paper? Huh? I don't know what that means. When are we getting the $1,400? Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! So I started that at the top of the video, and I deserve you an update. So let me give you that update now. Boy, what a night it has been. Thank you for joining me. This is Evenings at LALATE with the final recording to the night and the big bombshell across the board. When are you going to get the $1,400? When are you going to get the $2,000 stimulus check under Cash Act? And are the events of today going to impact that? I'm going to answer that question right now. But first, go to the front channel, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe because no one's updating you around the clock with more details and ensuring you get money. Over the next 6 months, I will be sitting here around the clock and going through the applications to ensure you get approved for the things you are applying for. I'll tell you what's available for you to apply for, how to apply, how to answer the questions, and if you get into a bind, how to fix the situations and troubleshoot with you. I won't be reporting news like reading a script. I'll be actually ensuring you get money. That's how this channel launched, and that's how this channel is going to continue. But with no less than probably 24 things going live between second stimulus and third stimulus in the next 30 days, you're going to need a pen and paper, and you're going to need to subscribe and hit the alert button because I'm going to help you better than anyone out there. I can guarantee you no one's doing what I'm doing because I've been doing it since April 25th, giving people fortunes of money, and I'm going to do it starting right now. So the $1,400, when would the Cash Act get approved? There's a new concern tonight about whether Cash Act could get slowed down in the Congress because of an event that may be looming tonight. And what is that looming tonight? A call for a 25th Amendment of President Donald Trump to remove him from office so he could never serve in office again and make Mike Pence the President of the United States. And second, a move to impeach the President of the United States in the next 14 days, next 14 days, which will require an impeachment hearing and a trial in 14 days before a completely Democratic House and Senate. When will the senators be sworn in? Presumably by around Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, because the elections are not certified until at least Friday evening. They have to wait for overseas ballots due by Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The reason why they want to have these proceedings, first off, is the proceedings would result that Trump could never serve elected office ever again. That's one of their deep concerns. What are the news reports saying tonight? the news reports are shocking. Apparently, cabinet members, President Trump's own cabinet members, are calling for 25th Amendment. Leading Republicans and, of course, Democrats are calling for him to be removed from office. They are worried that he will not run the country for the next 14 days. And because of that, my concern for you is not politics coverage, but what's going to happen with your $1,400. Will your $1,400 be blocked because they're not blocked, but be delayed because they're spending time doing a trial over a man on the events of today? I can't tell. We're going to see in the next 48 hours. We do know that if Mike Pence became the president of the United States, then they could still get this pass. How do they get a $1,400 pass? Lands in the House, done in a half an hour. Nancy gets it finished. It's no more than half an hour to vote on it. Goes to Senate, approved within 30 minutes, done. But do they want to send something to President Donald Trump's table or not? Do they want to wait for Pence? Or are they simply just overwhelmed with work on doing impeachment, rushed impeachment hearings and 25th Amendment hearings? I don't know. I don't know. I do know that I am shocked to hear that his own cabinet members want to ensure that these are considering these options. And there we go. What a night it is. But you will get your $2,000 stimulus check. And one thing I do want to say to you is that at the time that the events of today were occurring, Mike Pence was in the Senate. He sits as the president of the Senate on the Constitution. He was sitting in the Senate. Outside, the president was saying what he was saying. And outside, the president was also tweeting angry tweets at Mike Pence. Mike Pence had to be rushed out of the Senate floor for his own physical safety by Secret Services. So you consider in your mind what Mike Pence is thinking tonight about the situation. Hard to say, but what a night it is. Money is neutral. Very, very well said. What did Mike Pence do? He got safely put into a secure location. We don't know where that location is, and his Trump's Twitter account is not permanently banned. Let me explain what happened with that. He recorded a video. No, let me back up. Joe Biden appeared on TV and basically said, if the president wants to stop what's going on, be a man, appear on television, and say, stop it. It was really like calling out Trump. He said, be a man, appear on television, and stop it. Well, Trump made a recording, and the recording says, I want peace to stand, and I want you to be peaceful. But then Trump called the protesters patriots. And at that point, Twitter put him on a 12-hour lockdown, meaning he could not post for 12 hours. Whether they're going to do it again, we will see. But apparently, his account is not banned, but it was put on lockdown, meaning he could not tweet. He could not send out a tweet for 12 hours. The question is if they're going to continue this or what they're going to do. Really hard to see what's going on. Yeah, so... And there's just a lot of things happening. By the way, send your prayers and wishes to that person throughout the recordings of today's videos. When I went live earlier today, if you saw me on, I don't even know, there was actually no name for the show. Who shot the, that's what I was about to say. Who shot the woman at the Capitol? I don't know. She has died. So please send your thoughts and wishes to her family. That woman has died. It's just not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. President Bush has sent out a message saying that this is a very dark night, a very dark day, and it's just awful. But it's just, why did they shoot her? I don't know they don't know much about a lot of things. There is a lot of security cameras in the Capitol building for obvious reasons. It's the Capitol building. And there is a lot of damage. Now, one of the things I did not know earlier, there is a lot of damage, vandalism in the Capitol building. This is a very prestigious, beautiful, very, very old building that has now suffered permanent damage to its structure. Very, very sad. Um, and and at one point in today's recording, I had said they had gotten the situation under control. They had not, apparently. So I thought they had it under control. They still had not. Um, and what a day it was. People were on Nancy Pelosi's desk. They were going through her office. One elected official feared a heart attack. And here's my final message. I really take a very strong stance in certain things, but I will personally be committed to see that Josh Hawley is not ever reelected to represent the state of Missouri ever, ever again. If you saw what he did today, it was truly one of the most shocking, deplorable events that I could ever imagine. And he should never, ever stand uh, for elected office. If you have not seen the picture, go on Mayor de Blasio's Twitter handle and you will see the picture of what Josh Hawley did. And now people are asking for Josh Hawley to resign as well. It is truly, truly shocking. And there is a way to express your opinions, but that is not one of them. And there you go. They stole Pelosi's personal items. Oh no, awful. We know very little about the events still of today because there was so much chaos. There are so many elected officials. There's hundreds and hundreds of elected officials in that building. So we know very little about the events of what happened in the building because we're still getting back details of it. And it's just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming. 3 died of medical conditions. Oh no, I didn't know that. It's just awful. What did Josh do? I'll explain to you what Josh did. Josh Hawley earlier in the week had called for today's hearings to invalidate the election results of Joe Biden, which is a sort of a farcical hearing that was never going to happen. You know, whatever. That's whatever it is. But as the protesters were storming the Capitol, he went outside and raised a fist in the air and saluted them for their work. Uh, Awful, awful, awful. He should not be an elected official. He should not serve in Congress. He does not represent the people of Missouri. And if you are a resident of Kansas City, open the Kansas City Star. They really are really having a cow about it. It is just shocking. If you've not seen the picture, you need to see the picture. Daily Mail of all sources, which I rarely even cite, actually ran all the details of what he did. It is truly, truly insane. It's sickening and crazy, says Hilo Story. What the hell, says Margie. Larry says, Josh, sad. Another person says, are you kidding me? Sin City, Dreamweaver says he needs to be removed. Anne says, no way. It's insane. It's insane. It is beyond imaginative. And by reference point, Ted Cruz denounced the protesters. Some of the people who had called for these impeachment hearings quickly came out and said, how dare you do this violence? Josh Hawley, clenched fists outside. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And there you go. So thank you for the evening. It has been an eventful evening. Thank you for joining me. And boy, join me tomorrow morning at 1 a.m. I will be back with EIDL at 1 a.m. on the West Coast. Then FPUC at 2 a.m. Then I'll be returning with Early Mornings LALATE at 3 and then continuing at 3:30. Hashtag remove Josh. Yes. I have not advocated a hashtag campaign, but maybe this is the time to a hashtag resign Josh. Josh resign, or one version like that. Hashtag Josh resign. Trust me, if you saw my tweet, I sent out a tweet. I'm dedicating myself to making him make sure this man never ever serves in office again out of state of Missouri. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. It's just, ugh, I just can't believe it. And I appreciate everyone's wonderful comments today. I appreciate everyone's really great focus. It's a day in which this channel really came together as a wonderful family, and I really appreciate all the wonderful love. If you need help with rent or utilities, go to news. Someone just asked for the volunteers page. news.lalate.com/community. Open the pinned comment to this video. At the bottom of it, the last line there says community page, news.lalate.com/community. And with that, thank you for a great evening. Stay informed, stay focused, go to the front channel, subscribe, hit that alert button, and like this video. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 1 a.m. How much will the damage cost in the Capitol? Oh, there's articles about that as well. There are articles calling for Trump to personally pay for the damage to the building. It just some of the stuff we don't even know. It's just this is overwhelming amount of this is a very very big story. It has so many different things to it. It just, you know, there's the damage, there's the security breaches. They went into people's, elected officials have confidential documents. There's security breaches. They sat in Mike Pence's chair in the Senate floor and took pictures. There's so much that went on, and I haven't even been able to watch a lot of it because I've been recording so much throughout the day with you. I've missed a lot of it, in the last 3-4 hours because I had to keep you on point. As the broadcaster said, "Oh, the Georgia results are in." I didn't even know the Georgia results were in until a viewer told me when I was on air because I was focusing on that early in the morning. But now you know. Thank you for a great evening, and stay in tune, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.